Watch
Oh
this
my god.
Give me appreciation.
Chat.
Hello everyone.
Chat, nothing did. This did. Okay, dude.
Actually content.
Okay, dude. What's it called? Men's rights versus feminism. Is toxic masculinity real? Humongous what? Humongous what?
Welcome.
Thank you for
This
tuning
is
in for
sexual
Middle Ground, which
harassment.
is all about disagreeing and having a dialogue.
That's right. Make sure you stick around to the end because we want to discuss more about the ethos of Middle Ground. But for now, we hope you enjoy.
You said that women are misguided. We are not misguided. We do not need you to shepherd us.
Is that the incel guy?
Can we just get this banger?
That's the incel guy from last time. They hired him.
Hello.
Would you call yourself a feminist?
Hey, chat, remember when
I
we were
would.
young and
Yes,
we all
an
thought that
intersectional
Santa Claus
feminist.
was real? This was a really nostalgic moment
Chat,
back in the
I'm
day.
sorry, what was that?
I'm actually sad that him turning into a fucking boomer.
An intersectional feminist.
Guys, what is an intersexual feminist? I don't know what that is.
Marxism?
To me, feminism is fairness.
I think that it's unfortunately misguided.
Feminism is a flawed movement.
When you hear the phrase men's rights, what comes to mind?
Aggression.
Advocating for the human rights of man as a class.
I start laughing.
What do you hope to get?
Aggression.
I would hope to get some insight and probably, if anything, agree on a lot more than disagreeing.
I actually hope to get a little bit more understanding of why some men think this way.
Do you think there's middle ground
She
between
said no.
men's rights activists and feminism?
We'll see.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Hi, my name is Zach, and I am
Love you,
24
Felix,
years
and
old.
chat xQcOW.
This is Chris. I'm a PhD student at the University of Southern California, and I'm also a Title IX specialist who challenges discrimination against men on college campuses. And I'm 30 years old.
Hi, I'm Derek. I also go by Brendio. I'm a YouTuber, and I'm also known as an incel, which is an involuntarily celibate.
Hi, my name is Alicia. I am a writer, poet, and teaching artist.
Hi, I currently work in the pet health industry.
And
I'm 24. I'm a
Women
graduate
want
student
their
with a degree in
rights.
health sciences,
Typical
and I'm
woman.
excited to be here today.
Can I get my men's rights activists?
Sorry, that's just a what? So
I'm a graduate student with a degree in health sciences, and I'm excited to be here today.
Can I
In
get my
health
men's
sciences?
rights activists in the left and my feminists on the
Oh,
right?
here it comes, chat. Here it comes.
You step forward if this statement is true for you. I believe men and women are different but equal.
I know as a woman that I don't have the same physical strengths. Men and women are built differently. I think whenever things are built differently, it's for a reason, right? But at the same time, the amount of limits that have been put on women historically, like the fact that not too long ago we were just allowed to start voting. Even today, like the wage gap, just all types of stuff. Like women just don't have a lot of rights that are just, it should have nothing to do with what gender we are to be able to be paid equally or just be treated with respect. So
Chat. I can be absolutely uninterested about this, okay? Because I don't fucking educate myself around these topics, but isn't the wage cap not like what it used to be? Isn't that kind of not a thing anymore? Can anybody tell me? It's false. It's bogus. So it's bogus then. It's actually bogus.
I do believe that, of course, there are biological differences between men and women. And, of course, there should also be legal equality. Of course, I disagree with the idea that women face systemic discrimination. You just mentioned the wage gap, which has been debunked so many times.
Ah, there you go. Okay.
I've studied evolutionary biology quite a bit. And men and women are very different from not just a physical, the bone structure, the neurological department as well as the chemical balances. And also, I don't believe that men and women are equal under the law either, or they should be rather. Children are not equal under the law. And it's not because we hate children, it's because we love them and we want to protect them.
So if you believe we're not equal, then that you're inferring that one would be greater than the other.
Well, so let me
So that's what
chime in
I'm
with my
trying to-
perspective.
yeah.
As far as not being equal, I don't think that that necessarily means inferior or superior. When it comes to certain things like roles like childbearing, a woman is going to be far more productive and a lot more nurturing than, say, a man. And when it comes to doing a lot more of the heavy lifting and the work, a man is probably going to be more suited for that role. And I don't think that that makes them any better or worse. We are just built, created, and born different.
I would also like to elaborate. I am not saying that they are worse overall or better overall.
They complement
like
each other.
Like he said, yeah, they do.
They complement each other beautifully.
They work very well together.
We need each other
for
for offspring. I mean, that's part of the beauty of it. And I think trying to equalize them and make them the same and, you know, transition and all that, I don't believe is going to be the most conducive when it comes to the family, raising children, but also just for overall well-being.
I want to note that you brought up children being unequal to adults. I just hope you weren't comparing women to children.
I mean, it was technically a comparison of women and children.
I don't need you to protect me. I just need you not to harm me. I can protect myself. I'm very capable of doing what I need to do.
Jesus! Okay? Who asked you? What happened?
100%.
I am an incel, or an incel advocate, I suppose. I don't hate women at all. I think we're different, and they have aspects that are superior to men as well. It's just very contextual on the subject.
Toxic masculinity is real.
Okay.
I think that toxic masculinity is definitely a real thing. It's kind of just the idea of what masculinity should be, but it goes wrong a lot of the times, saying that violence, sex, power, being a controlling person makes you a man.
I see it in very unfortunate places, like when the young men or boys in my family, even from like toddler age, are told, you shouldn't be crying, boys don't cry. And what that turns into, I see it when I'm in a bookstore and a guy who tries to get my number says, why y'all always gotta act like that? And he sincerely had this like cracking voice, like he was hurt, but it was an entitlement. And that's toxic masculinity. It's saying like, you don't realize how your behavior is harmful.
I'm confused what just happened.
What does toxic
what was that story about?
mean? Is it character traits? Is it upbringing?
The suppression of feeling for a lot of men, because throughout childhood, they're told man up. So because of that, there's a lot of repression. Repression then is usually channeled into anger for some people because they not always know how to express because they're told not to express.
So upbringing and
that's part of
environment.
it,
Okay.
yes.
But not something that's inherently a part of men. Okay.
No.
I think that, you know, when you're showing your emotions, especially to like, you know, random people, random women in some cases, they will view you as weak. I was raised by a single mother. I love her. She's my mom. I love her. But I could have used being told to act like a man. I think back, there were some cases where I was too emotional, and that negatively affected how I, what happened to me. And,
may I ask a question?
Sure.
What is your definition of weak as a man?
Not being as forward as you could be, not being as honest, or, you know, trying to be not as emotional as you don't need to be. You know, you don't have to cry over a cut. I know, you know, sometimes cuts hurt a lot, but sometimes it's necessary to be strong for the benefit of not just yourself, but for the people around you, you know. It's fine to act emotional in certain cases, but I don't think it's fine to act that way with a woman. Maybe, you know, you have a really good friend and he sees you cry, like, you know, he's your best friend and you're crying about something really personal. I think that's fine.
I feel like you're conflating two different situations because you started off with saying a random person or even women. So it feels like, okay, this is a woman that you don't have a bond with or any type of relationship with. And then you mentioned, or in front of your best friend. You know, that's okay to cry. Well, that woman could be your best friend. That, you know, like, so.
I don't think you can be friends with a woman, so.
Because you don't see us as equal, as you said before.
I don't think showing emotions is a sign of weakness. I actually think it's a sign of strength. Men do live shorter lives, and that's because of a repression of emotions, and that's due to many things that patriarchy has instilled.
Repression of emotions.
It has been shown that a person's well-being, their lifespan is shortened when they are not able to express their emotions. In addition, when they don't have physical touch or when they don't have a partner to keep them company. We are human beings here. We need to talk to each other.
I'm sorry, chat, after I didn't understand her argument. What the fuck?
So
I don't think showing emotions is a sign of weakness. I actually think it's a sign of strength. Men do live shorter lives, and that's because of a repression of emotions, and that's due to many things that patriarchy has instilled.
Repression of emotions.
It has been shown that a person's well-being, their lifespan is shortened when they are not able to express their emotions. In addition, when they don't have physical touch or when they don't have a partner to keep them company. We are human beings here. We need to talk to each other.
Physical touch.
And if you think that our health isn't affected when you're not able to express that you are sad or upset, you're wrong. I think that men's rights activists are only men's rights activists as a response to women expressing that they want more equality. I don't think they focus on actual men's rights issues, and rather it's just an attack on women and feminism.
Today, women have more advantages than men.
Ooh. I can speak from a hiring standpoint when it comes to things like affirmative action, and there are certain roles that traditionally men and women have been able to serve in, and now women can basically do all of those things, right? Because we've had such a strong advocacy for equal representation in the workplace, whereas, for example, you know, you'll never find a man as a midwife nurse, and I don't think it's appropriate. That's why there are those differences.
Women in like the most important parts of society have an advantage. There's a lot of positions that men simply aren't getting hired at anymore because of, you know, the fact that they're a man. And it's not just in the workforce, it's also, I would say, you know, it's a lot easier for a woman to find a relationship, even if she, you know, says it's finding the right guy is so hard. It really isn't. But sometimes for a lot of guys, finding a girl at all is hard.
if I have to consider what I wear.
Hey guys, it's hard to take him seriously. He's so far gone to incelism, dude. It did.
Before stepping out the house, because I don't want to draw some type of attention. I don't know how many other men have to consider, is this outfit going to be deemed safe for me? Any situation that I have experienced where like I physically felt endangered simply because I don't want to give my number out. It's part of that entitlement for men. You're not entitled a conversation with me. You're not entitled to my number.
That aside, it's like, are you gonna make one example of the entitlement of men when it comes to asking for your number be the all-encompassing thing that all men have a problem when it comes to approaching women?
Well, firstly, it's not just an example. It's not necessarily all men. I don't dislike men. I love sports, I play video games. I have bros, I hang out with dudes. We just want men to realize that if you have friends—
Did you just compare men to gamers? Did I don't need you to protect me, okay, lady? I can protect myself.
Friends that are having locker room talk.
Excuse
as a
me?
man, as an ally, please say something to your friends.
Do you think repressing that is really the solution here, though? If it's in a healthy male space.
I don't think that's healthy. I think it's
No, I'm
toxic
not,
in itself.
I mean, if you're making jokes and you're doing all of that.
Jokes that are harmful jokes are not healthy because they just lead to people normalizing things. People always say, oh, it's just a joke, but when someone else hears it, they don't realize how that resonates, and again, how that turns into violence. Like, this is not an isolated situation. I'm only thinking of 3 off the top of my head, because if I think of too many, I'm gonna spiral
So
right now.
what's the alternative? Men shouldn't talk about these things.
No, I think men
one's
can
ever
have a
said
healthy
that.
dialogue. I don't think men have to be toxic in order to have a conversation. I know plenty of men that are able to have conversations about healthy, productive things, just like women are.
Well, it's not obviously something that I have personal experience with, but only 1% of all people on the death row are women in this country. So when women and men commit identical crimes, women are much more likely to, for example, escape the death penalty. And that's just plain sex-based discrimination.
that I agree on.
That's true. Look, I'm thinking about basic needs, like around the globe, the women who don't even have like proper like sanitary like products.
I mean, I have to agree. Just small things like a tax on a box of tampons. Do you think I choose to do that?
Guys, can I be honest with you? I hope I use the word correctly. I feel that this is like a strawman argument. Like we're talking in like society and its current applications of it, and then she like, yeah, but around the globe, these women over there are doing this and this is happening. It's like, okay, well,
this monthly.
That wasn't really the topic,
trust me. So why should I have to pay taxes when this is a medical necessity?
We're just like dismissed. A lot of our symptoms, a lot of the things we report, especially women of color, but women across the board, are just treated a lot less equally.
I'd say that I'm an advocate for what I believe the role that men play in society. I believe that their views should be expressed openly, that they should be given a platform to do so, and I believed in men unapologetically and unashamedly being men as we were created.
Okay.
I think in my heart that there are things that men are entitled to. I am all about human rights, and I do consider the rights of every human, but every time I hear of a men's rights activist, I hear anger and I hear very illogical reasoning, and it just boils my blood because it's a setback for all of us.
I feel that the other side does not understand my values.
They're all gonna go.
I think a lot of times when a movement is created, the other side thinks that they're being attacked or think that it's some like attempt at erasure. That's not what feminism is about at all. What do you need a whole men's rights activism movement for? I'm sincerely confused.
Well, I mean, like, I will advocate for positive masculinity and what men should represent and healthy outlets for men. Like, I still think the Boy Scouts should be exclusively the Boy Scouts, for example, one of those things. Where I would like to think that we could get some common ground is when it comes to the clear biases that are in the court system, especially in the marriage and family court system, right? And right there is what I would advocate for when it comes to men's rights.
The things that stand valid, like that I'm hearing from y'all that are like
facts,
valid to me, come from a place of like, I'm treated like unfairly by the system, versus a lot of the things women are saying. It's also America and the system as well, but a lot of it is like harm from men.
How and where?
How and where what?
Where's this harm from men coming from?
Okay, it started when I was young. I'm not gonna talk too long. I was 16, got a bottle thrown at me because I told a boy no. It started when I was in a club, a boy touched me, I said no, he kept touching me, it got to the point he got violent. It gets to the point that the only reason why a man decided to stop touching me in the bookstore I talked about earlier is because he realized my husband was not too far away, and he said, sorry bro, never said sorry to me. That's why, and that's off the top of my head. This is why I get upset, because I'm like, I'm here to talk about like how you feel, but when you just dismiss the fact that women actually have experiences, that's when it seems like it's about more than your rights. It seems like it's about your ego. And that's where I get pissed off, because how dare you tell another human being that their experiences, what they're telling you right in front of your face, is not valid.
I didn't say they were invalid, I said how and why. I'm trying to understand.
How and why? Because it happened. It happened many times. It happened yesterday. It happened the day before.
Okay, I think some of the things that you guys are touching on, such as the court system and gender roles, are a subject of patriarchy, and that's part of what women are trying to dismantle, is those traditional gender roles.
Are there any feminist organizations
Chat, isn't another example of what the guy meant is like, let's say you get a ticket or whatever, right? Like sometimes it could happen that, you know, oh no, you know, don't give me a ticket. Oh, okay, you get a warning, right? But if your guy's like, oh no, Mr. Sir, please, shut the fuck up, dude. Here's double, man. You know, like, you know, this.
For example, to challenge bias against men and fathers in the family court system.
Absolutely.
Can you please give me like a list of feminist advocacy organizations
Look, that have
engaged in any meaningful advocacy to address those issues? Because there are actually none.
Okay. I know that you came with your little research or whatever. I didn't come with a list of like feminist organizations, but I know actively that there are women's organizations that are trying to dismantle those inequalities.
Just one name, just one
Again,
organization.
I didn't come with a list, my dude.
There are no such organizations.
In what way?
List of feminist advocacy organizations that have engaged in any meaningful advocacy to address those issues, because there are actually none.
Okay. I know that you came with your little research or whatever. I didn't come with a list of like feminist organizations, but I know actively that there are women's organizations that are trying to dismantle those inequalities.
Just one name, just one
Again, I
organization.
didn't come with a list, my dude.
There are no such organizations.
Guys, I don't think he asked for a list. I think he asked for one so he could at least have something to go on, dude. It's not research, it's just, you know.
In what ways are men's rights at risk?
I think there has been significant progress over the last decade or so, especially in the legal field. But I think there are still significant disparities that need to be addressed, such as poor health conditions, bias against men in the criminal justice system, bias against men in family courts, and bias against men in the educational system, especially in colleges.
Men and women should be allies.
Yeah, of course, dude. Everybody should be
Men,
allies.
unfortunately, many of them don't want to even have this open dialogue that we're sharing right now. We need men to help be allies, to help speak to other men.
It strikes me like the way you phrase this, you almost want men to say certain things that you want them to say, as opposed to maybe actually listening to what they're saying.
What certain things would I want to
Just
hear?
kind of like men being allies, men talking to other men, etc. I'm completely okay with that, but I'm not going to repeat like feminist talking points to other men.
We all believe different things. We may be under the label of men's rights activists, but for example, I'm probably the most traditionalist person here. I think we should be allies, but maybe us being allies in a patriarchy wouldn't be so bad. You know, us going back to the past wouldn't be so bad. It would probably be a lot happier if we were, you know, getting married and staying married and having kids and, you know, going to church and all
This
that.
guy, dude.
While speaking to the three of you, I feel like you're each coming from different perspectives. So it's hard to, you know, again, just like our perspectives, it's hard to generalize. So to me, I feel like there are certain things that, even though we're not fully agreeing on it, things may get lost in translation, our verbiage may not be 100% correct, that we could at least agree on.
Can I ask one question? What would you envision would be the ideal man with the end goal of feminism as far as educating men or working to dismantle whatever patriarchy is? Like, what does that man look like?
It starts with childhood. We have to teach children as well as girls, because we're also taught, because of toxic masculinity, what a man should be as well.
I think that we just need to hold men
Shouldn't even answer the question.
accountable. In order to kind of make progress, we need help from people that will listen. Because let's be real, when we express our concerns, a lot of men refuse to listen, but they would be more likely to listen to another man.
Do you also feel like you have an ethical obligation to challenge other women or other feminists when, for example, they deny that men face discrimination?
When it comes to things like, oh, men can't be abused, I've had this conversation with another woman, and it's the idea that just because a man may be physically stronger than us does not mean they cannot be abused. And because of that, again, fairness, women need to be held accountable as well. I want to understand their viewpoint. As a woman and a woman of color,
That's true. That's true. Don't say question mark. That's true.
how it feels to be disenfranchised. So I want to understand why they feel the need to have a men's right movement.
I feel empathy.
Guys, it's true, man. If you're in a household, okay, and the girl is smacking and rolling the dude, okay, even though the dude might be physically stronger, and if he claps back, he's gonna send her in a coma, maybe his morals and his ethics say, don't hit back, and he has to take it all the time, dude, and that needs to be denounced or whatever, dude. It's reasonable, dude. And yes, in the general perspective of things, men have a higher lung capacity, you know, a different bone structure, fucking bone density shit. I don't remember, right? And if you know, if they were to clap back, it would probably, you know, do more damage. But you know, doesn't mean that they do it.
Empathy for the other side.
I don't think there's ever a time in my life where a person says they're hurting and I don't at least try to listen or understand. My only thing is that I want the same in return. So when I'm genuinely saying I'm hurting or I've been through something, and it's not just a personal experience, because I actively do this work and surround myself with women saying I've been hurt by a man before. I get that you have stories, but I mean, that's actually my question. I haven't heard y'all stories. Like, I've sat up here and said I have 3 on the top of my head. I have about 30 plus probably. And I haven't heard y'all say, this is what happened to me.
I don't think that I'll ever invalidate a woman's feelings when she says, hey, I've been abused or whatnot. I don't think any of us here are rightfully saying that. But I think what's dangerous is when emotional testimony that may not always be what it is gets, creates bias, right?
Okay, I feel empathy for women being lost, being misguided. Look, I don't know. You can go.
Do you have any bit of empathy for anything we said up here?
Yes.
I really did
feel empathy for
Why was that so hard to say? Like, for the stuff that we said, do you have any bit of empathy for the stories I said up here?
Yeah,
I just want to know.
I do.
Like, I'm not even trying to be hostile. I just genuinely want to know.
Yeah, I just think that like a lot of the problems that have happened in your life are because society is not patriarchal. It's not traditional. It's we're gone. We're lost. We're in a fallen state, right?
There is a change of guard, not necessarily a change of guard, but things are evolving.
Okay,
things are changing. And I feel like a lot of men speak from a viewpoint almost of fear. A lot of men are having a hard time grasping that and feeling comfortable with it.
I do feel empathy for your personal experience, but I cannot sympathize with your ideological position, because that ideological position is built on a fallacy, and that fallacy is actually that's causing very real consequences for men as a class in this country. So I understand that you are here with us as kind of the good feminist, so to speak, that you feel empathy for men, and I believe you, but I do not believe your movement, and I do not believe your ideology.
All right, we'll leave it at that. That's a wrap, guys.
I'm sweaty.
Okay.
You are very articulate.
Oh, thank you.
So are you.
Thanks for you.
Stories for a long time.
Thanks for your time.
Okay, that was interesting.
John, what do you think it means to disagree thoughtfully?
Shame.
I think when you disagree, it's important to acknowledge the other side's opinion and to kind of respect their opinion and to know that maybe you can't change it. And I think like we've had a lot of middle grounds where people stick to their sides.
You know the problem that I have with Jubilee did? Okay? I enjoy the videos, okay? We watch your content all the time. The problem in here, the problem with the content is that sometimes
but you can't use it to bring you down.
One side is just gonna get brutalized, dude. Because there are no data like emotional, non-scientific Andes against hardcore scientific data lists Andrews, dude. They're getting fucking rolled, man. And it makes them look fucking bad. Because all the time they have debates with feminists or whatever, they bring fucking,
this video is just a fucking feminist complaining
about
like they, xQcOW.
Bimbos! I said it! Bimbos! Okay? Did it. That's a problem.
Thank you xQc for everything.
They did it. Now all the time, I just went like, just on one side, yeah, you have Derek that lowers the team IQ or representation by, like, this is video, okay? This is video, okay? This is all 2 members, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and this is their IQ, okay? This is the axe of IQ, okay?
I'm interested in that. Does he only play man?
That was the men in his video. Dam, the first guy, Derek, then the other guy, right? And on the opposite side, you have like this, dude. Like, so dude, it's unfair, man. They get fucking rolled. They get rolled. Like, this guy is just rolling them. Without even trying. He didn't even have to bring like data. He just say, okay, name me one thing. And oh, I don't have to listen, my dude. That's not enough, dude. You lose there. It makes them look, even though, let's say she had data, she would have won. Well, she didn't, and that makes him look bad, right? Does that make sense? It makes them look bad because even though they could have won, now they definitely can't because they brought dumbass. They did it on purpose, you think? I don't think. Sometimes I feel like so, but not all the time. Because honestly, dude, chat, the fact that they brought Derek into the discussion makes it kind of equal. Because that guy says some stupid ass shit, dude. He says some stupid ass shit. This guy made everybody look bad too, man. I think they should have brought a male feminist as well as a female. Yeah, but dude, how would that look? How would that look? It would look as if the video tried to sneak in a paid actor in the opponent's side to ruin them. That's how that's how it would come across. When you hear Feminism, what comes to mind? Marxism. All right. Jesus, dude. Derek, a funny woman is very hard. Everyone, this video is for you. Second comment. Derek is literally the last person who would be able to protect women against anything.